Hey guys, so I know my hand is a little shaky right now. Today is my first day working as a web project manager. So I work fully remote. The company is a digital marketing agency that helps also with website design for contractors within the home services industry. I've noticed that on the calendar, I don't really have too much scheduled, but that could change. I have a one-on-one meeting with a manager, and that's not until 12 o'clock. What I think I'm gonna do is just spend some time going through my emails, making sure that I did all of my, paperwork, and just kind of playing around with the platforms that I am going to be expected to use and just to learn more about them. That's one tip I do have, is like if you're starting your first day, get familiar with the tools as much as possible. I think it's important to kind of dive deep into the tools and the platforms a bit so that you at least kind of are familiar with it and you know the basics. So let's hop to it.
Take a look inside your heart. Is there any room for me? I would have to hold my breath till you get down on one knee, because you only want to hold me when I'm looking good enough. Did you ever fool me? Would you ever picture us? Every time I pull my hair out, was really unfair. That you'll find me ugly and one day you'll disappear. Cause what's the point of crying? It was never even enough. Did you ever want me? Was I ever good enough? The boy's a liar. The boy's a liar. He doesn't see her. You're not making money, boy. The boy's a liar.
All right, so I've done a bit of digging, playing around in the platforms a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can't do a little bit of socializing, see if I can't introduce myself. Yeah, just kind of go from there. So yeah, I'm about to do that right now. Hopefully they're able to send me the computer. They're supposed to be sending me a MacBook that I can use on my own time. So I'm looking out for that. I've also taken the time out to write down questions so that I have them prepared for when I meet up with the manager today. That's another thing too. Get your questions prepped and ready. I would highly recommend doing that. So I've found that in the beginning I had some very general questions, but as I played around in the platforms and looked around and saw how everyone was interacting with each other, it's almost like the questions started to build over time and my questions became more. So I'd say play around, like first write down all the general questions that you have and then play around with the platforms, and if they finally grant you access into their account to kind of see how everything is flowing together and to see the documents and how everyone is interacting with each other, anything that catches your eye that makes you go, write it down as a question, because that may be something vital that you may want to know more about. And there are some questions that I have that I know might actually be addressed in the coming days when we do training, but I wrote them down anyway, just in case. All right. Okay guys, so I just finished up like 3 different meetings. One was a welcome meeting with my manager and the director of account services, and then after that was the web meeting with the rest of the web team, and then finally I had the hire orientation meeting. So I actually had to hop out of the web team meeting and do the orientation meeting, which was very nice. We just kind of went over benefits and the different platforms and training, so what our schedule will be like for the next couple of weeks. So I'm very excited. I really like where this is going. I am hungry. I have a meeting at 1:30 with the other manager, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab a bite to eat real quick. All right. Hi guys, so it is late in the evening and I actually forgot to record the rest of the video. Yeah, I know. But I'm just gonna keep you updated. The meeting with that manager went really well. It was a nice discussion. We found some things that we could connect on. The rest of my day was spent really, once again, just doing a whole bunch of paperwork, getting to know the people at the company, and kind of mingling and getting a feel for the vibe and the culture. Tomorrow we're going to do training, some more training on a few other platforms that they utilize, and we're going to learn more about the processes and what the expectations are. Alright, I will talk to you guys later. I'm going to bed. Bye. So hello, it's the second day. I am up. I think I woke up around 6:30 this morning. Pretty late this morning. But I'm up. I got dressed, got ready, and pretty much it's around 8:17 right now. I've just been kind of going through my emails, trying to organize my emails. I gotta organize this now while it's my first day before it gets chaotic. But yeah, so let's see how my second day goes. Ooh. Okay guys, it is later on in the day. I just had finished having some meetings with some coworkers that I'm going to be working a lot with. Once again, like I mentioned in a previous video, is just focusing on really getting to know everyone and seeing what their preferences are, what their communication style is, and how they best work with others. So I did a little bit of the training video that they sent me. It's a 2-hour training video. I've got a long way to go, but I'm gonna try to finish it up either by the end of this week, because it's a long one. But I'm gonna do a bit of that, and then after that I'm going to head over to lunch, grab myself something to eat, and then after my lunch I'm gonna hop right in and finish up my training. What time is it? I actually have a 1 o'clock training meeting, so at 1 o'clock, which might be after I get off my lunch, I'm going straight into a training session. So after the training session, I'll probably have a bit of time to do the training video, and then after that I have a 4 o'clock training session. So yeah, that's how my day's going so far, you guys. All right, I'll keep you updated. Bye. So I just got through doing my 1 o'clock training session. We basically got our email signatures set up. Then we kind of went through a little bit of the Basecamp platform. We're going to do more of a deep dive in, I think, sometime next week. And then we basically kind of went over getting all of our communications set up, our calendars set up, our meetings set up, and just kind of chatted for a little bit longer. So that was a really nice session. Really got me well established and feel like I really got my footing. She gave us access to a few more training videos that we have to watch, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on doing that. And then at 4 o'clock I have another training session to go through too. So there we go, there have you. That's just been the highlight of my day so far. I do feel like over time, as I get more settled in, is when the real work will start picking up a bit. Okay, so I just finished my 4 o'clock training session, which was really good. We kind of dived deep into, you know, the help desk and everything, which was really nice. I definitely would consider this a very productive day. Got a few training videos, watched a couple, and I really felt like I learned a lot today about how the company works, how they interact with clients. But we're going to go ahead and move into day 3, and then after that I'll give my overall advice to you guys for your first 3 days as a web project manager. Good morning. So we're on day 3. So I know in the past 2 days you guys really didn't see much action. I didn't really record myself in the middle of having these meetings, so I won't be able to show you the screen, and I'll probably be playing music because, you know, for confidentiality purposes, I have to protect the people I'm working with and the things that we discuss. But I'll show a few clips of me sitting in front of the computer and just kind of talking and discussing things with people within my training sessions and things of that nature. So I haven't really done any work on any projects yet. They want to make sure that I get settled into the company first and that I'm familiar with everything before I dive in. So that's going to be for a whole other video. But I'm going to walk you through my third day, which will be the final day I show. So let's see how it goes. This is going to be a very eventful day, by the way. I have a lot of meetings today. All right, so just got out of yet another meeting, and in this meeting we went over a CRM system that they use. We also went over, once again, another platform that they use. It's not a bunch of platforms. I make it sound like it's like a million platforms. Some of it has been recaps of other platforms that we've already been sort of trained on. It's just kind of making sure that we have a good feel for what we're utilizing. But so far so good. After this I have another meeting, and that is in 10 minutes. It's me actually doing my first job shadow. So I'll be attending a meeting with a fellow project manager and their web coordinator, and I'm just going to be sitting back and just kind of taking note of how they interact with the client and things of that nature. So this is the last meeting for today. I'm very excited. So after this meeting, I can't record anything, guys. Sorry, confidentiality purposes, of course. But after this meeting is over with, then I'll finally give you guys my full feedback of my first 3 days working as a web project manager, at least when it comes to the training. So stay tuned for that. All right. So it is now almost 5 o'clock. Just finished the last meeting for today where I did some job shadowing. I kind of sat in and just kind of observed interacting with a client who was interested in getting a website built. This was a project launch call, or I guess in some instances you would call it the initiation meeting. We went over the web design brief and just kind of reconfirmed and verified information that we had already collected and seen if there was any new information. So first, the project manager just kind of went over all that with him. And then finally, if he didn't have any further questions, then we kind of passed it along to the account manager, and they kind of went over things like the SEO and the marketing portion of the service. And then after that, seeing if he had any further questions and seeing if we could get access to his Google Search Console, his Google Analytics, and things of that nature. And then kind of, ended the call after that. So that was really fun to sit in. I took a lot of notes. And yeah. So with that in mind, here's my advice for anyone who is about to prepare for their first day as a project manager. I know that not everyone's experience is the same. Some people may end up having their first day where they get thrown into a project without notice. And if that is the case, then I do have concerns. Please make sure during the interview process that you ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You are interviewing the company just as much as they are interviewing you. So make sure you ask questions about the what to expect when you first start working with the company. Are you going to be thrown into a project as soon as you start? And is there a period for training and getting used to settling into the company? Ask those questions. But otherwise, you shouldn't have to worry too much about being thrust into a project right away. If it's a good company, like I mentioned the other day, you will have time to settle in. And I think during your first week at best, the primary focus for you is to just get familiar with everyone, get familiar with your key stakeholders. I mean, not key stakeholders, not the clients themselves, but get familiar with the people who you'll be working with, other project managers, account managers, your SEO team, marketing. Just get familiar with everyone as a whole. Get familiar, get settled in with the vibe, the culture, and everything. And then focus on that your first week. Okay? Take notes. Get familiar with the platforms that are being utilized. That sort of thing. Don't stress too much about knowing the project phases. I did so much research before this. I bought like a couple of books. And I'm knocking stuff over. Look at me. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't look over that stuff or that this stuff won't be helpful. Because like I recommend this to anybody. There's this book called Managing Multiple Projects. It's written by Elizabeth Herron. Really good book. A lot of good tips in there. But I am not going to need to utilize any of that stuff my first week. Not even my first day. It's just getting familiar with the company and the people. Focus on that, okay? Don't worry about knowing the phases and the different initiation, because 9 times out of 10, you might end up at the company and they may have a completely different process that may not even have anything to do with the phases, you know? Not saying that they aren't important and for you to not learn them, because I personally plan on still learning more about the phases and even getting PMP certified when I get an opportunity. But for now, my focus is to just get familiar with the company, get familiar with the platforms, get familiar with the processes, and just getting familiar with the people. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Hopefully you guys had some things to take away from my first 3 days as a web project manager. And yeah, let me know about your experiences in the comments below. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask them and I will be happy to answer. All right, guys, I'm going to clock out for the day. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.